Another balmy day here in the desert, and I'm a little thirsty, so it's time to go to the beer cooler. Yeah, it's 106 right now. Dry, hot. It's a dry heat, yeah. So it dries you out. So we need to hydrate. And what better place to hydrate than the beer cooler? Okay, so what we've got is back here I've got a keg, 2 gallons of from More Beer. It's their hop prophecy. This one turned out outstanding. It has a very upfront, slightly sweet grapefruit presentation, very good mouthfeel. It turned out much better than I thought. We have the this one is from Craft Brewing, and it's a gallon kit that had oak aged IPA, which turned out pretty decent. And what we're here for today is the Pinter, and this is an Irish red ale that I put in here. Let's see how this goes. Give that a chance to settle down a little bit. Definitely got some carbonation in that. I love this pressurized fermentation system. It really makes a difference in the overall conditioning and flavor of the finished product. And I haven't quite figured out why, but I have the theory that the pressurizing helps dissolve the carbonation and the hop oils and the grain flavors more evenly. And very convenient. But the most exciting part about this is that each pint is only 65 cents. That's all it costs. We're going to use this brew that I'm using on this one. And let me get into that in a little bit. Okay, I thought I'd get out of the heat. Even with the beer, it gets old in a little while. And I'll take a few minutes here just to explain what I said outside, in that this Irish red ale here, which I brewed in the Pinter, and I came to this idea because I was pretty dissatisfied with my first Pinter brew, and that was a kit that I bought from Pinter. It was their Appalachian IPA, and while it was a decent IPA after it was all said and done, it was decent in the way that it had a medium mouthfeel. There was a citrusy taste to it, but there was nothing exciting about it. On the negative side, the kit cost me $48 when it was all said and done, with the shipping and handling and the tax, it came to $48. And I brewed it in the Pinter 3, and it came out without any issues. The only issue is that if you take a pint of beer, and if the keg only produces 12 pints and you're talking about $48 to purchase that kit, what does that come out to a glass? It comes out to $4 a glass. And that is not a $4 beer. Me personally, it's not even close to a $4 beer. Now, as you can see, I've started getting into different kits so that I could experiment with different types of brewing or different ingredients and see what works in the Pinter. And I've got some interesting results so far. As you can see, as I just said, I've got kits from Mr. Beer, or I'm sorry, More Beer. I've got 3 here, and I've got another one coming. And I also have another one coming from Pinter, which is their Legonitis IPA rendition, and I was intending to do a side-by-side with one Pinter with that one and another Pinter with a different IPA from a different company. And I'm already just kind of regretting purchasing the kit, because the kit cost me $51. So in order for it to go in the Pinter, you're talking about a glass running at $4.25 a piece. Whereas if I take it and brew it and ferment it in one of these Mr. Beers, which are 2 gallons, and make a 2-gallon beer out of it, and add some DME to it to bring up the ABV and mouthfeel and creaminess of it. You're talking about, instead of $4.25, you're talking about $2.80. So you're cutting it in half, and it's pretty simple math. You know, instead of getting 12 pints, you're getting 16 pints out of a couple of gallons. So you got to weigh the pros and cons. Do I stick with the Pinter and just eat the money lost, or look for a way to get better cost value out of different types of kits? And that's where I wound up getting these kits here from More Beer. These are excellent kits. They're in the same theory as the Pinter kits. You just dump everything in, put in the water. Everything in here is cryo, so it's all been pre-processed. You just add the water, put it in the fermenter, and in a couple of weeks you got beer. And that, I mean, you can put one of these kits together in a fermenter in 10 minutes. And I thought, that's kind of cool. You know, here we're already at $2.80, and it's half the price of the Appalachian IPA, so I was wondering if I could do any better. And that's where good old Irish Red came in. This is actually my second can of this. Each one of these cans will produce 6 gallons of beer. This beer that I just got from outside is from this can. And basically, you can take the extract from this is all also pre-processed. You've got your hops and everything already in the extract. It's been fermented and boiled down, and you've got 6 gallons worth of extract here. Well, I'm not going to brew 6 gallons at one time, so what I did was I took 900 grams out of this and put it in the, well, I took 900 grams out of this, and Irish Reds are usually only about 4 to 5%, and I don't like low ABV beers, so I did add a pound of rice DME. Now you don't have to do that. That's completely optional, and these you can get on Amazon. I think it's about $10. And in the end, this Irish Red came out at 8% ABV. It's got a wonderful, wonderful creamy mouthfeel. It's got a very slight sweetness to it. Like I was mentioning outside, the forced fermentation in the Pinter, I really feel, for me anyway, I really feel that pressure makes sure to infuse every part of the beer with the hops and the oils from the grains, and all of the flavors and aromas are just forced into the liquid. And I actually have another keg out there that I force carbonated from transferring it from the Mr. Beer fermenter, and I wanted to do, and I probably will do, I wanted to do a comparison between forced carbonation and pressurized fermentation, and I can guarantee you who's going to win, because I've already tasted both and there's a distinct difference, and I don't see anything that I did differently that would have caused that. It's just a different way that this carbonation is working. So I purchased this Irish Red on Amazon for $30. Now if you divide $30 by 12, you'll come up with 60 some odd cents. And I said 63 to 65 cents, I believe, outside, because I was trying to cover the added expense of the extra pound of DME. But with or without, you're still talking about a pint of beer that's under 70 cents. And I'm telling you, that is a nice Irish Red. I'm actually going to order a couple more of these, and because of how well this turned out, I decided to try another one of theirs. This is a brown ale, and it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be 900 grams of this extract. I'm also going to add some Golden Light, a pound of this. I'm also probably going to expand my experiment a little bit. I've got some really nice orange blossom honey that my wife picked up from Prescott, from a little shop up there. And I'm going to put some orange blossom honey into it, and we're going to see how this turns out. I'm looking at another ABV outcome of about 8% when all is said and done. So we're going to see how that turns out. I'm probably going to start building the fermentation tonight or maybe tomorrow. And I'll do a video on the exact way that I do this and how you can get a beer for way under $4 a piece and still have all the qualities and features of the Pinter itself. So we'll see how this all turns out. As I can guess or surmise, this is a great way to expand your Pinter inventory at a very, very low price. And I have yet to find anything that has dissuaded me from thinking like that, because the beers turn out just awesome for that kind of money. Anyway, I hope this adds a little information or some ideas for you to look into, because I can guarantee you can buy beer kits for your Pinter way cheaper than what you get on their website. So we'll see how all this turns out. This is JR10. Have fun, be safe.